What if I told you that a single country pioneered urban planning before Europe even had roads, gave the world the concept of zero, birthed four major world religions, and today stands as the world's most populous democracy? India's history isn't just a timeline of events, it's an epic saga of unparalleled wealth, deep spirituality, and a resilience that has outlasted some of the greatest empires to ever exist. Welcome back. Today, we are taking an incredible high level journey through 5,000 years of Indian history. We aren't going to rush it, but we are going to unpack how this vibrant subcontinent shaped the modern world. All in just 8 minutes. Hit that subscribe button, grab a drink, and let's travel back in time. Our story begins around 3300 BCE, along the banks of the Indus River. While most of the world was still figuring out basic farming, the Indus Valley Civilization was building massive, sophisticated brick cities like Harappa and Mohenjo-daro. What makes these people so fascinating? They were obsessed with engineering. They designed grid-patterned streets, advanced sewage systems, and indoor plumbing. And curiously, unlike ancient Egypt or Mesopotamia, archaeologists haven't found massive palaces or giant statues of kings here. It seems that this was a society built on trade, organization, and peace. But by 1900 BCE, climate shifts and drying rivers caused these great cities to fade. As the center of gravity shifted towards the fertile Ganga plains, the Vedic period began. This era gave birth to the oldest sacred texts of Hinduism, the Vedas, setting up the cultural and philosophical foundation of India. This era also ushered unprecedented growth in medicine, culminating in the advent of Ayurveda, which is still recognized as a significantly important and effective branch of medicine. By the 6th century BCE, a massive intellectual revolution swept the land. Thinkers started questioning rigid rituals. From this wave of philosophy emerged Mahavira, who popularized the principles of extreme nonviolence in Jainism, and a prince named Siddhartha Gautama, who achieved enlightenment and became the Buddha. Other prominent schools of philosophy also found footholds in India around the same time, like Nyaya, Sankhya, Advaita, to name a few. The beauty of these schools is how they, even when contradicting each other, promoted independent thinking and free speech. India had become an intellectual and spiritual powerhouse in Asia. For a long time, India was fragmented into smaller kingdoms. That changed with the rise of the Mughal Empire. Its most legendary ruler, Ashoka the Great, conquered almost the entire subcontinent through brutal warfare. But after witnessing the horrific bloodshed of the Kalinga War, Ashoka had a profound existential crisis. He renounced violence entirely, converted to Buddhism, and dedicated his life to peace, carving messages of environmentalism, animal rights, and religious tolerance onto massive stone pillars across his empire. After the Mauryans came the Gupta Empire, around 320 CE, often called India's intellectual golden age. While Europe was navigating the early Middle Ages, Indian scholars were changing the world. Mathematicians like Aryabhatta revolutionized science by inventing the decimal system and treating zero as a functional number. Astronomers calculated the solar year and realized that the Earth rotates on its own axis. Down south, powerful maritime empires like the Cholas built massive navies, dominating trade routes across the Indian Ocean and spreading Indian architecture, language, and culture all the way to Indonesia and Cambodia. India's incredible wealth made it the ultimate destination for global trade. By the early 1500s, a new power arrived from Central Asia, the Mughals. Rulers like Jalaluddin Muhammad Akbar realized that you couldn't rule a diverse land without unity. He built an empire based on religious pluralism, marrying local princesses and bringing Hindu scholars into his royal court. Under the Mughals, India became an absolute economic titan. By the late 17th century, India alone produced nearly a quarter of the entire world's GDP, out-manufacturing the entirety of Western Europe. They were global leaders in textiles, spices, and luxury goods. This unimaginable wealth funded some of the most breathtaking architecture the world had ever seen, culminating in Shah Jahan's ultimate monument to love, the Taj Mahal. But all this wealth attracted a new kind of visitor. In the 1600s, European trading corporations arrived, led by the Portuguese and then the British East India Company. Using political manipulation, private armies, and exploiting rivalries between local kings, a literal corporation slowly took over the entire subcontinent. By 1858, the British Crown took direct control of India. For nearly 2 centuries, India's economic structure was re-engineered to benefit the British Empire, draining trillions of dollars out of the country and leaving its local industries in ruins. But the spirit of India wasn't broken, it was unified. A massive, diverse freedom movement ignited. Leaders like Mahatma Gandhi captured the world's imagination by weaponizing non-violent civil disobedience, leading millions in peaceful protests. Meanwhile, charismatic revolutionaries like Subhash Chandra Bose pushed for independence through military force. Exhausted by World War II, Britain finally realized that they could no longer hold the subcontinent. On August 15, 1947, India gained its hard-fought independence. However, it was a bittersweet victory, as the land was tragically carved into two nations, India and Pakistan, leading to one of the largest and most painful migrations in human history. When the British left, critics predicted that a nation with so many languages, religions, and deep poverty would collapse into chaos. They were wrong. Over the last several decades, India did what it has always done. It reinvented itself. It built a resilient democracy from the ground up. Today, it's a global technology and software giant, a nuclear state, and a spacefaring powerhouse that lands rovers on the moon on a fraction of the budget of Western space agencies. From the ancient brick-lined streets of the Indus Valley to the cutting-edge digital revolutions of today, India's story is a 5,000-year-old testament to human endurance, brilliance, and evolution. And that is the grand story of India in under 10 minutes. Obviously, we barely scratched the surface of such a massive history. Which specific era, empire, or historical figure do you want us to do a deep dive video on next? Let me know in the comments below. Give this video a thumbs up if you learned something new today. Share it with a friend, and make sure to subscribe for more epic content. Thank you, and see you in the next one.